Welcome viewers, this is your anchor Kekrizanya Solo. You're now watching HornbillTV. Artificial intelligence is no longer a technology waiting for the future. It is already reshaping everyday life. From writing emails and analyzing medical scans to powering customer service and influencing what we see online, AI is becoming part of how society works. But the bigger picture question is no longer simply what AI can do or how limited AI is. It is so far, it will replace or reshape work, economies and society, and whether we are prepared for the speed of that change. The big picture. What is changing in AI? AI is evolving rapidly from tools that simply answer questions to systems that can increasingly reason, plan and perform tasks. The latest Stanford AI Index shows continued progress in areas such as coding, science and language, while the global race for AI leadership is intensifying. The biggest shift can be summed up in 3 stages. Firstly, chatbots to AI assistants, AI agents, and it is that final stage that could change how we work with technology. If today's AI help us complete tasks, the next generation could begin completing them on our behalf. And then we have the rise of AI agents. AI agents are designed to take a goal, break it into steps and carry out tasks with, say, less human intervention. They could eventually help manage schedules, write software, handle customer service, or even perform parts of business operations. But the technology is still developing because companies are experimenting with agents while fully autonomous systems remain far from universal. In simple terms, AI agents are moving from experiment to emerging workplace technology, but the transformation is still unfolding. And as AI moves from assisting workers to performing more tasks, the obvious next question is, what happens to the economics of work? The economic impact. Big investment, uncertain returns. AI is attracting enormous investment with businesses spending hundreds of billions of dollars on the technology. Adoption has also been remarkably fast, while studies show productivity gains in areas such as customer service, software development and also marketing. But those gains are not evenly distributed. The larger question is whether AI will eventually transform entire economies or mainly make specific industries and tasks more efficient. And if companies can produce more with fewer resources, that brings the biggest question for workers into focus. What happens to jobs? The job question, disruption, not disappearance. Well, for this, the evidence so far does not point to a simple story of mass unemployment. Instead, AI is creating pressure in particular occupations, especially where routine digital tasks can be automated. Some entry-level roles may face greater exposure, while many skilled jobs are being redesigned rather than eliminated. The emerging reality may be less about human versus machines and more about humans with AI versus human without AI. But even when AI does not eliminate a job, it can fundamentally change how that job is performed and how workers build careers. This brings us to the next point, that is the productivity paradox. For AI can make individual workers faster and move or more productive. But greater efficiency can also mean companies need fewer people to produce the same amount of work. Some experts believe AI could eventually create new industries and labor demand, while others warn of difficult transition, particularly for younger workers entering the workforce. The real change may therefore be deeper than job losses. AI could reshape the entire path from education to employment. And while the economic debate focuses on job and productivity, there is another cause of the AI boom that cannot be seen on screen. The hidden costs, energy and infrastructure also comes into the picture. AI may be digital, but it does depend on physical infrastructure. Advanced systems require powerful chips, massive data centers, and huge amounts of electricity. Now, rising demand from AI data center is already becoming an important part of the global energy conversation. That means that the AI revolution is also becoming an energy and infrastructure challenge. But AI's bigger challenge may not only be how much power it consumes, it may also be whether people can trust what the technology produces. The trust problem. Can we believe what we see? AI can now generate increasingly convincing text, images, audio, and video that creates opportunity for creativity and communication, but at the same time, it can also make deepfakes, fraud, and misinformation easier to produce. As synthetic content becomes harder to distinguish from reality, verification becomes increasingly important. The central challenge is simple. The more powerful AI becomes, the harder it may become to know what is real and what is not. And when technology can influence economies, information, and public trust, AI stops being just a technology story, it becomes a geopolitical one. Global competition where AI as a geopolitical force. Countries are now competing for AI leadership through access to advanced chips, computing power, talent, data, and energy. This has created growing interest in AI sovereignty and the ability of countries to develop and control their own AI capabilities. For developing economies, the stakes are particularly high because AI could accelerate productivity and development. But weak infrastructure and limited digital skills could also widen the gap between countries. This brings maybe a digital gap. So from the workplace to the power grid and from social media to geopolitics, one thing is becoming clear: AI's impact will extend far beyond the technology itself. The big future outlook also comes into picture again, because the future of AI is unlikely to arrive in one dramatic moment. Instead, it will unfold gradually as AI becomes embedded in everyday software, workplaces, and public services. We are likely to see more AI agent, greater workplace automation, increased human AI, collaboration, new regulation and safety standards, growing demand for computing power and energy. But perhaps the most important question remains unanswered. Will the benefits of AI be widely shared or concentrated among the companies, countries, and workers best positioned to control it? The final takeaway is the future of AI is not simply about smarter machines. It is about smarter decisions around those machines. AI is moving quickly. The real test will be whether governments, businesses, institutions, and individuals can adapt at the same pace. Because ultimately, AI will not just determine what is possible, it could determine who benefits from what is possible. Well, that's a wrap for now on this discussion. For more updates, keep watching Hornbill TV.